what's up, guys? Dale Valor here from Modern Valor Dating. Listen, you guys know that we have mad playlists. If you don't know, you can go check it out. We have one on running the perfect date. We have one on outside of the box date ideas. We have one on the Masters of the Game series. We have several, that you can go really deep and go through them, fall down that wormhole and just keep going and going and going, right? But we are starting a new one today. And what is that series going to be on? Calibration. Now, here's the deal. I think calibration is so important, man. I went through and I was trying to see if anybody else had videos on calibration. There were a few out there, but there wasn't many. And I think in large part, the reason for that is because calibration is so hard to teach. Because everybody calibrates a little bit differently. So what we're gonna do over the next, I don't know how many videos we're gonna do on it, but it's gonna be more than a few. All right, we are gonna break down calibration in a beginner level, an intermediate level, and an advanced level. But let's get into this first. What is calibration? All right, look, I think game really boils down to three simple concepts. I think it comes down to inner game, outer game, and calibration. The inner game part of it is who you are. The outer game part of it is the what you do. The calibration part is the when and how you do it. So when I say that everybody calibrates a little bit differently, what I mean is some people are more observant than others. Some people take those observations and they process it in just a different way, So everybody kind of does it slightly differently. So here's the deal. Calibration is really just taking a temperature. It's taking a temperature of the room, the environment, the interaction that you're in. Just being aware and being observant and being present in the moment. And look, here's the deal, man. Calibration is kind of like this. It's almost like a sixth sense. Once you do it enough, once you're out there and you've had enough experiences and you've internalized game to an extent, calibration comes a lot easier because you've been down all these situations before. So you kind of just know what to do instinctively. You don't really have to think about it too much. But on the onset, and that's where we're going to start here, is at the beginner level. On the onset, it can be a little bit difficult. What do I do? What should I say? How should I act? All those things. And that's what calibration is going to answer for you. Okay? So look, think of calibration like this. When you walk into a room, how aware are you of the environment? What's going on? Are you in your head? Because if you're in your head too much, it's hard to be aware. How many times have you been daydreaming and somebody's talking to you and it's like you're not even there? You may even be responding to it a degree. You might even, yeah, yep. But your mind isn't there. You really didn't hear a word of what they said. Or another example of that, how many times have you been reading a book and you noticed, man, like I read the last 2 pages, but I couldn't even tell you what they said. Because you start daydreaming, you start thinking about other things, you get distracted. See, calibration, it centers you. It keeps you there in the moment. So that way, now you can take the right action. Okay, so think of it like this. All right, you walk into a room. What's the environment of that room? Then, once you know what the environment of that room is, now you can proceed with a little bit of intelligence. Where you are figuring things out, or you're like a Sherlock Holmes. You're just observing everything and making little mental notes. Okay, there's the bar over there. Okay, there's the smoking area where I can take a girl to go chill. Okay, so those girls are over there. There's 3 guys with them. They might be partnered up. Can't really tell yet. I got to evaluate that a little bit more. It's you taking inventory of your environment, taking the temperature, and seeing what's going on. All right, so How do you get this sixth sense? How do you get this superpower that you can just know what to do? All right, well, look, there's a few ways that you can become more observant, because at the end of the day, really, it's about being observant and being able to read people's body language. Now, that's where we're going to get into a little more intermediate when we're talking about reading body language and things like that. But there are ways that you can grow it. Hey guys, want to take this quick time out just to remind you, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, man. We want to be able to bring you this information as quickly as possible. If you're getting value out of it, man, it costs you nothing to subscribe to the channel, but it means a lot to us because we can keep going, we can keep moving forward. So make sure you do that. Also, give us a thumbs up, man. Drop a comment in the comment section on things that you want us to cover, or whatever the topic of the video is about, chop it up with us, man. Let us know what you think, so drop that comment, share it with somebody that you know needs to hear it. Also, the last Saturday of every month, we do a live Zoom event. We will have it linked up here. And what I want you to do is register for that, man. It's 100% free. This month, we're going to be talking about social circle game. So what does it mean to build out a social circle? How you can do that? Why is that important? We're going to give you all those answers, man, and show you step by step how to do that for it to work for you. Remember, the last Saturday of every month. All right, we're going to hop back into the video. Let's get it. The first way that you can do it, the number one way that you can do it, is go out there and take action. Go out there and start approaching. Go out there, have conversations, get to know people, grow your social circle out. All those things, man, they're all super important. And it shows you and gives you a gauge how to interact with people on different levels in different situations, all right? It's going to teach you and show you that. That's the number one way. But there's other ways that you can supplement this too. All right, and this is almost like some James Bond, Sherlock Holmes. Thing is, look, if you have the mental acuity to be able to pick up on what's going on around you, then in any situation, then from there, you can make an assessment of it, right? So in other words, this is another way that you can work on it. Try to remember how many red cars are in a parking lot when you pull in. Just scan the parking lot and notice how many red cars there are, or blue, or brown, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just pick a color, take a look around and see how many that you can find, how many you can notice, all right? Another way that you can do this is at a restaurant, for instance. How many windows are there? How many ceiling fans are there? What is the server's name? Remember her name, all right? Another good way of learning how to calibrate is remembering people's names, all right? When you are introduced in a situation, remember their name. Now, there's different techniques and tricks that you can do to help do that. There's something called mnemonics, where you play a little story out in your head, or you rhyme something to their name so that way you can remember what their name is. So there's different little mental tricks that you can do to help yourself with that. But at the end of the day, remember people's names. Now, this is another one. Now, this is when we're going to start moving into intermediate, but watch a movie that's a foreign movie, a language you do not understand. Mute it, all right? No sound. Watch the characters in this movie. Just watch them, what they're doing. Try to read their body language. What kind of conversation are they having? Watch their facial expressions, all those things. That will help you be able to read people better when you're out in the field, when you're out at wherever it is that you go. You'll be able to read people a lot better if you do that one simple little thing. You can even make your own stories up during the movie, like what you think is going on or what you wish was going on or something like that. Like maybe they're actually talking about getting married and your storyline has them arguing about where they're going to eat for dinner, So you can make up your own story or whatever, but the thing is that that's going to help you calibrate out in the field and be able to read people so much better. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to give you an example of what calibration looks like. All right, so say, for example, you walk into a house party and you don't know anybody at this house party. How quickly can you figure out who's running it? That's calibration. That's being able to go in there and identify, okay, that's the guy. Almost immediately within 30 seconds of being there. Look at it and say, okay, that's the guy running the house party. This is probably his house. Find out. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a challenge. Next time you go out anywhere, make an observation about somebody and go up and see if you're right. If you're right, you're probably starting to calibrate a little bit better. If you're wrong, you just need to work on it a little bit more and find out why you're wrong, right? So you thought that this girl was an office secretary and it turns out she's a construction worker. Like, how did you get that wrong? Try to reverse engineer it and see why you potentially would come to that conclusion. All right. What I want you to do too is I want you to drop a comment here in the comments and tell me what calibration means to you. All right. When you try to calibrate, what is it that you're actually trying to do? All right. So put that in the comment section. And here's the deal. Like I said before, we got a gang of playlists. So what I want you to do is go to the playlist Building Attraction and start there. Start at the first video, work your way down. As you become more attractive, you'll be able to feel the sense of getting out there and calibrating a lot more. Okay, guys, I'll see you there.